Hello and welcome back sa ating mga viewers. It's me, Bull and Ben. And today, meron tayong isang topic na i-discuss and it's all about dividends. If you haven't watched our video about why the stock market, I'll put a link on the description. Basically, kung re-reviewin lang natin yung sinabi natin doon, the basic ways to earn money to the stock market is through capital appreciation and dividend, which will be our main topic for today. So ano nga ba ang dividend? So tingnan natin yung sinasabi ng Google in terms of the definition of this word. So a dividend is a distribution of profits by a corporation to its shareholders. When a corporation earns a profit or surplus, it is able to pay a proportion of the profit as a dividend to shareholders. So in layman's term, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, kapag ang isang publicly traded company ay kumita, meron silang option to profit share or magbigay ng konting cash dividend or stock dividend dun sa kanilang mga shareholders. Second question, bakit naman nagbibigay ng dividends ang mga publicly traded companies? Una, it's a way for these corporations to show their appreciation and commitment sa mga shareholders nila kasi tayo, we are putting our hard-earned money sa mga companies nila eh. So these companies have the responsibility to execute kung ano man yung goals and objectives nila. And eventually, if they meet their financial target for the year, it's a way of giving back to their shareholders through the form of dividend. Pangalawa is para maka-attract sila ng mga potential investors. So kung maganda yung track record ng company, consistent sila nagbibigay ng dividend, of course, it will attract some institutional funds or some investors. And kapag nag-invest sila dun sa company na yun, eventually it will also drive the stock price higher. At dun pumapasok yung tinatawag nating price appreciation din. Some things to take note about dividends. First, not every publicly traded companies give dividend. Okay? So, in order for a company to give a cash dividend, for example, kailangan kumikita na sila. And not all publicly traded companies are already making money. Some of them are dun pa lang nasa growth stage, so they don't have a net profit yet. So that's first. Second, some companies, kahit na kumikita na sila, what they do instead of giving cash dividend is they just reinvesting their profits to the company. Meaning, pinapaikot lang nila yung perang kinita nila. And eventually, kapag pinapaikot lang nila, it will also lead to a bigger sales, bigger revenue growth, at kapag gano'n naman, eventually tumataas din yung stock price nila at dito pumapasok yung capital appreciation. So, companies have options to do that na hindi ibigay yung cash dividend. And more often, kapag mature na yung isang company, sila yung madalas magbigay ng dividend. Versus sa mga companies na mga medyo nasa growth stage pa lang, instead of them giving dividends, what they do is to reinvest their profit for their future growth. So paano mo naman malalaman kung maganda ba yung dividend rate na makukuha mo? So we need to look at what we call the dividend yield. So paano mo siya malalaman? Companies do announce kung magkano naman yung dividend na ibibigay nila. So in order for us to compute the dividend yield, simple lang naman siya. So for example, ang isang company, ang stock price niya is let's say 30 pesos per share. And nag-declared ang company ng 3 pesos cash dividend. So in order for us to get the yield, kailangan lang natin i-divide yung 3 pesos na cash dividend divided by the stock price of the company, which in this example is 30, and then we multiply that by 100 to present it in percentage, and the answer is 10% dividend yield. So with this example of 10% dividend yield, medyo malaki-laki na rin yan, and for institutional investors, it is a great vehicle for them to park their fund kasi malaking return na rin yun. Mapoprotektahan mo yung value ng pera mo versus inflation din at the same time kumikita pa. Bukod pa yung price appreciation ng stock kung sakaling tumaas din to. Okay, let's discuss briefly yung types of dividend. Maraming klase ng dividend, but the most common type are the cash and the stock dividend. So for cash dividend, straightforward, if a company earns profit, they will give you a monetary reward as a investor or shareholder of that company. For a stock dividend, it means that you will have an additional number of shares depende kung ilang percentage yung bibigay sa'yo ng company. Okay, ngayon, paano mo naman malalaman kung ikaw ay eligible sa isang dividend? Simple lang yan. Ang companies naman, nagbibigay sila ng mga disclosures kung ano at magkano at kailan mo makukuha yung dividend. So, there is always 4 dates na kailangan mong maalala once a company announce a dividend. First is yung declaration date. So, from the word itself, declaration, it is the date kung kailan nila in-announce yung dividend in their disclosure. Second is yung ex-date. Ito yung importante na date because kailangan hawak mo yung shares through the ex-date. For example, ang ex-date is March 2. Kailangan hawak mo siya at the open ng March 2. Kasi kapag hindi ka entitled dun sa dividend na in-announce nila. And afterwards, meron tayong tinatawag na record date. It's just a way of bookkeepers to record kung sino man yung lahat ng shareholders na eligible for the dividend. And lastly, yung payment date, which is ito yung araw kung saan ibibigay or ilalodge ng company yung dividend mo sa yung mga brokers straight to your account. So take a look of example. So in order for us to know it, pakita natin. So you need to go at first is Google or pwede mo nang erekta yung edge.psc.com.ph. As you can see here, it's the home page. And dito, makikita mo na yung mga announcements, financial reports, and other reports. At kung i-scroll down mo lang siya, dito makikita mo na yung dividends and rights in this area. If you want to know more, click natin yan. So, ayan yung mga companies, type of security, and type of dividend na ibibigay nila, which is usually cash talaga yan. And these are the dates that we have mentioned earlier. At kung ano ba yung dividend rate, kung magkano ba yung ibibigay nila per share, nakalagay na rin yan dyan. So let's take a look at one example is Metro Bank. So recent lang to. So this Metro Bank, you click the company disclosures. Dito last February 17, they already announced yung declaration of cash dividend. So ito yung sinasabi natin kaninang declaration date. And if you want to know more the specifics, kahit dito, click mo na lang yung dividends and rights. So ito yan. So cash dividend rate is 3 pesos plus an additional of 1 peso dahil nag-announce sila ng special dividend, which is in form of cash din. So that's 4 peso dividend in total. So the ex-dividend date is March 2. So dapat by March 2, hawak mo pa yung stock. Kapag nahawakan mo siya through the ex-dividend date, you are eligible already. And then, on that date then, na March 2, pwede mo na rin siyang ibenta. As long as na pagka-open ng March 2, hawak mo na siya, eligible ka na doon. And then, pagdating ng March 5, that's the record date, and then payment date is no March 18. So, na-receive natin yung dividend na yan. Okay, baka meron kayong questions, no? Bakit yung gap down sa Metro Bank ang laki ng ex-date? So, ang ex-date kasi meaning it is the price after the dividend is priced in. So, in the case of Metro Bank, ang dividend is 4 pesos. So, yung ginap down niya on the ex-date is almost 4 pesos din. Which is normal kapag malaki yung dividend na ibinibigay ng company. So, huwag ka mag-alala kasi nandyan naman yung dividend mo. At the same time, if you are a long-term investor, if you just hold it, eventually, babawi rin yung price appreciation niya. So, huwag ka mag-aalala doon. And that's it for today's topic about dividend. So hopefully na meron naman kayong na-take away dito sa ating topic. And if you have comments and suggestions, please let me know. And also don't forget to give a like and subscribe to our channel. You can also reach me sa ating mga other social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. So maraming salamat sa inyong support and see you on the next video.